Welcome back to Let's Talk Temple. The fiscal year 2026 budget has officially been adopted by City Council, and today we're diving into what that means for you, how it shapes daily life in our community, and the investments being made to keep Temple growing strong.
The city budget is the blueprint for how we fund and provide services and programs to our community for the upcoming year.
This year's budget totals $329.9 million. Think of it as the city's financial roadmap, deciding how to keep services running, support our growing community, and invest in Temple's future.
It covers things like our police and fire departments, our parks and libraries, animal services, water, wastewater. It's the heart of what we do because it provides the money in order to do the things that we do for our community.
This budget is built on the framework of the City of Temple's strategic plan, ensuring every decision supports our community's long-term vision.
The City Council has established 5 focus areas for us to work on as we focus on the budget. So those are to be a high-performing organization, to have communication and collaboration, places and spaces, health and safety, and smart growth. So those are the 5 areas that we consider as we are deciding where to spend money, where to allocate resources. So the City Council did enormous public outreach on our strategic plan last year to set the stage for this year's budget. We had focus groups and community members participate in updating that strategic plan and setting the goals and those 5 focus areas for where we wanted to invest our time, our resources, and our money.
Think of the budget like a pie. It's divided across several funds, each serving a specific purpose. The general fund, which covers everyday city services, is set at $147.5 million.
The general fund is the heart of the budget, really. So it takes care of police, fire, libraries, parks, streets, all of the things that we think of when we think of city services.
The Water and Wastewater Fund is $76.2 million, keeping clean water flowing and systems updated.
When we pay our water and wastewater fees, those funds can't be used for streets or police and fire. They have to go for water and wastewater services. So those are in a separate fund for us, and those fees are set to manage the day-to-day operations and the long-term capital needs of our water and wastewater department.
Other funds support tourism.
Hotel motel tax, which the revenue for that fund comes from taxes on hotel room night stays, and it has specific state law requirements that mean that you can only spend that money on things that are intended to generate more hotel room night stays. So things like festivals and tourism type events are available to be funded through that. Again, those funds can't be used for potholes and fire and police protection. They're specific funds.
And reinvestment zones that promote local development,
which is actually a partnership between 8 other taxing entities throughout the city. So the City of Temple is the host entity for that fund, so we have the full budget of that fund within our organization, but it's really a combination of Temple ISD, Belton ISD, Troy ISD, Bell County, and others that participate in that funding source. Those are also restricted funds and can only be used on infrastructure that helps to facilitate economic development and growth in the specific geographic area that's covered by the zone.
A large portion of the general fund comes from property taxes. This year, the adopted tax rate is 0.6999 per $100 of taxable value. For the average homeowner in Temple, that's about $19.90 more each month, or $238.85 more for the year.
The increased property tax rate is going to fund a few specific things. So the City Council allocated funding through that increased tax rate to hire additional firefighters, additional police officers, and additional solid waste drivers so that we can have additional routes collected.
That revenue helps the city keep up with growth. Temple continues to welcome new residents and businesses, and with that comes the need for strong public safety, reliable utilities, better roads, and more community spaces.
It really translates to what value the residents get from the money that they pay for city services. So to me, it means that I can go to sleep at night knowing that if I have an emergency, a medical emergency, a fire, a public safety concern, and I pick up the phone and dial 911, that within a matter of minutes, I'm going to have trained people at my door to help me and my family. It means that when I turn on the water faucet, I'm going to have clean water flowing out to provide food and showers for my kiddos and myself. It means that I have roads to drive on to get to work. It means that I can take my sons and daughters to play in the parks, to learn soccer, and all of the things that come with having a community that you're proud to call home.
But even if the city wasn't growing, the increase in property taxes may still have been necessary to maintain the level of services our community depends on.
The growth in our tax base was about $3.5 million. $3 million of that goes just to provide increased salaries for our police and fire. So the market rate adjustments that council approved this year, in addition to the step increases that are part of their civil service pay structure. That doesn't put one additional firefighter on a truck or one additional police officer on the streets patrolling. That's just keeping up with the police and firefighters that we have. So if we weren't growing, if we weren't expanding our community, the need to continue to fund those services would fall on our existing tax base, and we would have an even higher tax burden to deal with. So while growth is driving the need to add services, even if we were staying the same, things are getting more expensive.
Public safety remains one of the largest investments, with more than $51.6 million going to Temple Police and Fire and Rescue. This ensures we have the people, training, and equipment to keep our community safe.
City Council had a specific focus on health and safety. They've really wanted to see us bolster our fire and police response capabilities. They've added additional staffing to our police and fire teams, and then also on smart growth. They want to make sure that we're able to provide those basic services that our citizens rely on.
That means this fiscal year we'll be adding 10 additional firefighters and 4 additional police officers to our ranks.
It also provides funding for increased salaries for our hardworking police and firefighters and other important tools and equipment they need. For example, one of the things that's funded in this budget is a rescue boat, and we've seen that need in our police and fire teams several times over the last few years, as we really have a lot of our city limits as part of the lake, and so we've seen the need to have rescue resources there. So it's not just in staffing, although that's the heart of it, but also in the tools and equipment they need to do their work really well.
Utilities are another key focus. More than $76.2 million is dedicated to water and wastewater systems, making sure we can deliver reliable services today while preparing for future demand.
As the community grows, the need for additional infrastructure grows as well. So we will need additional lift stations, sewer lines, and water lines as we prepare for additional areas of our community to grow. The Water and Wastewater Fund budget this year does have a program in place for additional capital projects to provide those needed infrastructure improvements. But there's also significant investment in our existing neighborhoods.
That means one of our top priorities is reducing sanitary sewer overflows in older neighborhoods where the infrastructure has aged and needs upgrades to stay reliable.
So while much of our infrastructure investment is focused on growth, the majority is focused on taking care of our existing community and the resources and the assets that we have.
The budget also includes a capital improvement program of nearly $114 million. This program funds large, long-term projects like road and mobility upgrades, new and renovated city facilities, and investments in utilities and public spaces that improve daily life.
Midway is a project folks would be interested in knowing is part of our capital improvement program. Council recently approved the design contract to get us started on that project. In the next few years, I expect that you'll see that project under construction and improvements made to that important roadway. We also have plans for expanding our water treatment and reclamation plants so that we can treat and provide water for our community. We have major investments in our neighborhoods to improve older existing lines that need to be upgraded and replaced. Fire stations is a big one. The community will see several new fire stations coming online in the next few years. We're planning to relocate Station 7, which needs to move farther west to serve areas in our community that have grown out to the west. An additional Station 9 will be serving additional parts of West Temple. Station 10 will serve South and Southeast Temple, and Station 11 will serve additional parts of North Temple.
This budget strikes a balance, meeting the needs we face today while laying the groundwork for a stronger tomorrow.
That is one of the challenges that we have as a community that was established in 1881 and is one of the fastest growing communities in the United States of America. So we've got the balance of older infrastructure and older neighborhoods that we need to continue to invest in to make sure that the core, the history of who we are, continues to be a thriving set of neighborhoods and a great community for people to call home and raise their families and start their businesses. But we also have to prepare for the growth that is coming to our community. So that is one of the great challenges that we have, is striking that balance. And I think the council does a great job.
The City of Temple budget is more than just numbers. It's about making sure our community has what it needs to grow, stay safe, and thrive. This plan was built with input from residents, council, and staff, all working together to balance today's needs with tomorrow's opportunities.
Council took an enormous time to really study the needs of the community, taking into consideration the concerns that they heard from their citizens and the residents that they represent. It's a very hard job, and we're blessed to have a council that has taken the leadership on getting the resources that we need to provide services to our community.
The budget officially goes into effect on October 1st. Visit templetx.gov/FY26 budget to see how your tax dollars are being spent, all to continue our mission of making Temple a place you love to call home. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.